Set in 1980s Indiana, a group of children witness supernatural forces and secret government exploits. Yes, we're talking about Stranger Things Season 4, Part 1 on Geeks with Kids today. Let's do this.
Talking about Doctor Who.
The new Doctor Who, the old Doctor, new one? Which one?
Was when Jenna Coleman was the companion.
Oh, with Matt Smith and with Capaldi.
Yeah.
They also because we're talking about the Netflix stuff. There's a Wednesday Addams show, specifically Wednesday Addams.
But it's like in a specific time period of the Addams family where she's like
turn around Corinthian
doing something. I don't know.
Did you post all those things and not the Midnight Club, Eric?
Because you posted it at the top, didn't you?
Yeah, you posted it.
Yeah, so I didn't post it again. Did you want me to post it?
I haven't watched the trailer for that yet.
It looks good. Well, because we're gonna talk about all things geeky and geeked week because that's gonna be in the news. I'm sick, so we're talking about this Geeks with Kids, a bi-weekly podcast from us, nerdy people,
the geeks,
the geeks.
Yeah.
Some who have children.
The geeks without kids.
Some, yeah. Yes, I'm sick and a little bit loopy, as you can see. Thank you, medication, and thank you, this cold 911 tea, which is very nice. It tastes like
911 tea.
Cold 911. It's by David's Tea. It tastes like I'm drinking Vicks, which is no, that's an exaggeration. But it
tastes like I'm drinking Happy.
It smells like eucalyptus, I guess. I don't know. It's helping me breathe, which is nice. My voice isn't as deep as it was when I started talking to Dave earlier.
Eric sounded like fucking Batman.
I am vengeance.
I am vengeance. I am tired vengeance. And we are talking about Stranger Things today on Geeks with Kids. Thank you guys for jumping on. How's it going? Good?
Pretty good.
Yeah, everyone's like,
rainy day, but
yeah. I slept for a lot of today, obviously.
Good for you.
Yeah, I tried. So like we do every week, we're gonna talk about what we're liking, what we're currently fanboying about. What's our yum? Let's start with Brent.
Yeah, of course, you start with the guy who didn't have anything coming into this.
Exactly.
But like you said, I think the obvious one, especially for you and I to fanboy over, and I don't know about everybody else, was the Survivor finale 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry, spoilers, people, but the 2 seasons that they have allowed Canadians finally to compete on the show, and we've won them both.
Have they never allowed
And
Canadians
apparently
before?
they've learned, because I've seen the cast list for the next season, and not a single Canadian to be found on it.
It was always American. If you had both citizenships, you can be on. So they've had, Canadian Americans.
To be fair, I'm sure the show procures visas and things like that, so it would be more work, right? If it's an American production to get a visa for a Canadian citizen, right?
It had to do with the prize money allocation, because their tax laws are different, so they didn't know. They took them a long time to figure out a way to get around that, but apparently they finally have.
Yeah, when you win stuff in Canada, it's not tax. The idea is it's pre-tax, but in the States, it has to be taxed.
It is
after
you're responsible for paying the tax on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the very first winner of the show went to jail, because he claimed he didn't realize that he had to pay taxes on it and never did, and they caught him.
Sure,
Ignorance
Richard.
of the law.
You didn't spend a few bucks to hire an accountant.
Not an excuse.
But no, it's cool that not only are like both the winners Canadian, but the winner of this current season is a Hamiltonian. Who went to McMaster for seminary studies.
She's from Ajax, but
she lived in Hamilton for a few years, so
she went to
Max honorary.
It's like Keanu Reeves is Canadian because he went to high school here, but like,
also one of his parents is Canadian, so
it's like for a while people were like, well, Elon Musk is Canadian, right? Because didn't he go to university there? It's like that's not how it works.
We will not take Elon Musk.
We keep trying to take. It's like the telephone was invented. It's like no, he was Scottish. Stop it. Stop trying to take credit for things we didn't do.
He was Canadian.
And we get something good, and Dave's just got to rip it away from us.
Well, don't. It's just lying. We're just lying about things.
Let us live in a fantasy world, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
How much fantasy do you people watch? Let me have this.
It's just a different point of view. Star Wars. That's how the Force works.
It's not how the Force works.
That's not how the Force works.
I had to press the button. It had to happen sometime. Yeah. So, Dave, what do you like him?
What's
your yum?
My what's good? So I think I talked about it last time. There's a new DLC out for Crusader Kings 3. It came out on the 31st, which is also my mother's birthday. It's really good. It's the Fate of Iberia. So they basically expanded a bunch of stuff for the struggle between there's 3 basically religions around 867, 1066 in Spain, right? Modern day Spain. And they just adjusted the way a lot of things worked and added a bunch of new cool stuff and new outfits or whatever else, and a bunch of new decisions and how you can go to war and whatever else. So, and new like dynasty benefits, you like feats and stuff like that. And I started a game with Joe Smodley and Cobra Commander. We were having a good time.
Are you streaming it? I didn't see you.
No. I don't think people would like watching Crusader Kings. I know people do stream it, but those people like intimately know the game, and I'm like, I need to pause. It's like the same reason I don't stream games like Baldur's Gate, because I feel like I'm just gonna sit there, pause, and be like, now I gotta do all this math or whatever. So I don't think it's very interesting.
So you need the Excel sheet on your second monitor and just have every.
No, it's mostly me looking up the wiki. Like, how do I do? Like, what do I need to control for this? And then I feel like it gets boring, or it's also it is like I think of it as like a roguelike, because the game is like an Iron Man playthrough, like a 4X Iron Man playthrough. If you want achievements, you don't have to play. You can save scum and stuff, but I think it's boring to do that.
Wow. That's fair.
But the game is so much fun. It's like a big role playing game as well.
Cool.
I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
How's that? Is that a little brighter for you now?
Yeah, it is.
I used the stream to adjust it rather than the OBS screen this time. So
very confusing. Very confusing.
I used the stones to destroy the stones.
All right, Hawk, what's your yum?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Barry's almost finished. The second last episode.
Just say the boys. Night. Just say the boys.
Didn't it,
yeah, I can start
watching just Barry now. Start? I feel like the Barry just started.
No, it's been 7 weeks already.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, almost 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I do not know where the last episode is going to go. You never know with this show. It's been so good. But there is another show I wanted to talk about. Not the boys, Eric.
Hopefully not Orville.
Not the Orville either in that. I was very disappointed by that opening.
The new season of the Orville is also called Strange New Worlds or something like that?
No, New
Horizons.
Yeah.
Which isn't that also the name of a Star Trek show right now? Or
no, it's not.
No.
Okay.
But it's very Star Trek-y.
Okay, well.
It's that it was a heavy episode, but not a well done episode. I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't want to spoil it for people, so I just kept on saying it was a heavy episode. Yeah. It's a heavy episode.
You should watch it, but it was a weird one to start out this new season with.
Yeah.
Anyways, the show I wanted to mention, Winning Time: The Rise of the LA Lakers. It's an HBO series, and that it was fantastic. I'm not a big sports ball person in general, but I do love a good sports movie or a good sports television show, and this was fantastic. So this show is about the LA Lakers and that when they were bought by Dr. Jerry Buss, who was an entrepreneur. Apparently the guy was like some sort of a rocket scientist. He actually worked on them and atomic bomb testing. And
ooh, shit.
But anyways, through his various enterprises and that, he managed to cultivate enough money to buy the LA Lakers, who were apparently one of the worst teams back in 1979.
I was going to ask what year this covered.
His purchase took place in 1979 and that, but it mostly covers the year of 1980 and that, and the rookie year of one Magic Johnson, who was newly recruited to the team. It's a great series. The conflicts that emerge throughout the whole thing are fantastic. It was about the rivalry at the time between the Lakers, who were like at the bottom of the list, and that versus the dynasty that was the Boston Celtics. And their new rookie, Larry Bird.
That Whitey.
Yeah. And he was so white. You have no idea. I had this whole image of Larry Bird as a nice guy and that, but like a 19-year-old Larry Bird was just a corn-fed Indiana hick.
Also, wasn't basketball like really brutal in the 70s, and like weren't they just like throwing elbows like crazy?
Yeah, not that like I don't know if it was more brutal then, but it was kind of as a sport, it didn't draw the national attention that it does today. You know, in fact, the Lakers were probably the one who kind of propelled it throughout the '80s into the kind of zeitgeist of a mainstream culture, and that
So
to
that
make
it could
it what
like
it
go
was.
insane in the 90s because of like Michael Jordan and
Yeah, exactly. You know, so many interesting little things in that. One of the cheerleaders of the LA Lakers was this young woman who was apparently still in high school, lied about her age and that, and was recruited out of high school by the Lakers and that to be their new choreographer for the Laker girls.
Paula Abdul?
Paula Abdul.
Yes. I don't know why I knew that.
A fun little fact, though. Fun fact. Time.
2 steps forward, 1 step back. So, you know.
Exactly. Anyways,
that's a song from Paula Abdul.
So she never finished high school, basically, is what you
yeah, basically.
She doesn't need to when she's friends with an animated cat who dances.
And had a #1 back in what, 89?
I'm sure on many of them, right?
Oh yeah.
She's in Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Randomly.
I just watched it this morning.
That was amazing. That movie's amazing.
I
It was really good.
I'm not sure in that.
She's in the rap party at the beginning of the movie. She's at the DJ booth with the animated cat beside her.
From 2 steps forward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
The more you know.
And
Oh,
hey,
I should do that.
inventor of basketball was a Canadian. Take that away from us, Dave.
Yeah.
Peach baskets.
I need these peach baskets. We'll just drill a hole in the bottom and poke it. You know, actually, okay. All right. Speaking of basketball, I just learned something the other day. The reason there's netting, right? Do you know why there's netting? The ball doesn't have to go through the netting. The ball has to pass through the hoop. The reason there's netting is so they know the ball went through and didn't go like, because it's like, you know, you see it on a 2-dimensional plane a lot of the time. So half the time it looks like the ball will just go through, but didn't. So the netting doesn't have to be there. The netting is just so that people actually know the ball went through the hoop. That's some fucking nerdy shit right there.
A lot of blind people watching that game back then.
Now I need to put The More You Know in one of the sound clips on
just
there.
do the
Shit,
that's
I
not
had
the
that queued up on mine, but it doesn't come up on this screen.
No, damn. That's cool.
No, it doesn't. Shit, I don't have it queued up on the screen.
You said it was on Netflix, right? Oh, not Netflix, HBO.
Yeah, it's an HBO series currently on Crave. Yeah, if you like a good sports story, this is great. Great cast too. Like John C. Reilly plays Jerry Buss. Adrian Brody's in it. Jason Segel from How I Met Your Mother.
You were gonna say How I Married an Ex-Murderer? I think.
I was gonna say Married Your Mother.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna abbreviate it. Big standout is Quincy Isaiah, who plays Magic Johnson, a 19-year-old Magic
Oh, so it's not
Johnson.
a documentary. It's actually a series.
Yeah, it's an actual series.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's really good.
Oh, the
Where to
more
bring-
you
Oh,
know.
there he goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, no, for sure. That sounds awesome. I thought it was a documentary series. But how many episodes is it?
10 actually.
Oh, fuck. That's
I
a
know.
lot. That's a lot.
I know. And
I'm-
they're like 1 hour episodes.
I
so.
think just because I'm sick right now, I'm just like, oh my god, everything just takes for fucking ever. Speaking forever,
It do take forever.
my yum is this. I got this over the weekend. Finally came in the mail. It's my Horizon Forbidden West tall neck Lego.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
where am I? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, which is fucking awesome. I did the first 3 bags. I posted pictures of the first 2, but this is what the 3rd bag looks like. Like when it's all together. So I assume bags 4 to...
That's not spoiling. I haven't played the game yet, so.
Well, it's in the first one too, right?
Okay,
The tall necks. Yeah, 2,000 pieces or something like that. And yeah, it's a good build. It's fun. But this is the first one where I'm sitting here like, fuck. You can buy LED lights for certain kits, for certain Lego sets, and this is one of those ones where I sort of want to get the lights for it, just because lights on the tall neck will look fucking awesome. I think it'll look awesome. Debating it. You guys are looking at me like he's fucking crazy. He spends too much money on Lego. I also
Plays with Legos.
No.
Also, my wife is building a Jurassic World set right now that has a.
I think you spend too much money on Lego that isn't Star Wars Lego. Actually,
ouch, ouch. This is my first non-Star Wars Lego set in a long time. The other one was the Jurassic World one that has like a skeleton, a fossil of a T-Rex on display, which is nice.
I want you to just think how deep, like layers deep that is. It's a Lego set of a fossil from a movie.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
Made with plastic from dinosaurs.
It's not a Lego set of a T-Rex. It's not a Lego set of the bones of a T-Rex, because remember, fossils are not bones, right? Fossils are remineral, like the bones disappeared and it's been replaced by minerals.
Mm-hmm.
And then a fictional depiction of that thing.
Yep. There's also a baby T-Rex with. Not T-Rex.
Eric, you do you, because after all of the fucking shit that you get us to keep buying, that you keep putting on the Facebook page, I'm happy you're spending your well-earned money.
What are you talking about? I don't make people buy stuff. I make Steve buy stuff.
Fuck off.
Yeah. We just talk about, hey Steve, there's a new keyboard, and he goes, where? What?
Yeah.
You know what you could use, Steve? A new microphone. Oh, okay.
13 microphones later.
He still doesn't know which one.
I don't know if you noticed, but there's another sale at Elgato today. Fuck off.
You're
Eric.
the one who did that.
Oh, and Mark, here's a lightsaber. Fuck off, Eric.
I feel bad about the lightsabers, but not really.
Honestly, I have a Stream Deck Mini, and I think that's all you really need. You don't really need more than that.
The Stream Deck and the
I
Go
maxed
XLRs.
out my 15 button pretty quick.
I mean, I could do, but I don't.
Mine is all in folders, so like my.
I
maxed
out mine right away. I'm using keybinds now for everything else.
Mine is super folders. So I have like a folder for Strange New or Geeks with Kids, and then each of the different types of streams we do, and then like subsets in there, and then I have like this set up for.
I have one for Zoom calls,
one
one for like Discord, one for when we're doing a podcast, one for whatever, one for changing cameras.
I wish I could. I wish
it worked.
I wish I had a Stream Deck connected to my other computer, because it's connected to my streaming one. But I would love one on my main computer to do work and stuff. I moved a bunch of my shit around on my desk, and I have my drawing tablet now in front of me, like my picture display tab. So I've been going through the Pub Draw series for Critical Role. So I've been drawing on my tablet. That's another thing that I like. That's my other yum, is the Pub Draw series is phenomenal. If you want to get back into drawing, some might say.
Drawing.
So the only news I have is we do a little bit of news sometimes. The news I want to talk about right now is the what is that emote that Mr. Lowe?
It seems to be a peach with its with
a worm coming out.
That's mine. That's my. Well, that's one of mine.
That's one of your emotes. I was sitting there.
Is it a worm coming out of a?
That's
peach?
Lalo. That's my boy Lalo. That's Taco Daddy. That's one of my moderators.
Nice. That's hilarious. That emote.
That is the only semi-sexualized emote that Twitch allowed. They banned all the rest of them.
Oh, damn. So the only news I want to talk about is that today Netflix started their Geek Week 2022. It's a celebration of all their Netflix shit that's coming out, or Netflix shit. And since we're talking about Stranger Things, we might as well talk about it. There's a lot of things that they announced today. They announced that Sweet Tooth just wrapped on season 2, which I'm fucking excited for. So that's gonna hopefully come out before the end of the year. They started off the show. It was a 2.5 hour show with the teaser for the Wednesday Addams TV show. If you've seen any of these trailers and want to chime in, that one, there's nothing to the trailer. She just walks up and snaps.
Right.
Yeah. With
Sorry,
thing on her shoulder.
Yeah, okay.
Who's playing Wednesday?
Jenna Ortega from X.
But Christina Ricci is in it. Is Christina Ricci playing Morticia?
No. So she's playing a different character that is unnamed. So probably Morticia. Now that I've thought about it, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? If she did. Although they couldn't use her too much apparently, because Yellow Jackets is a lot of time for her filming of the year.
Which, get off my back, Hawk. I'll watch it eventually.
Oh my god, I watched 2 episodes and it's so like it's a lot.
I have it still. I just haven't got to it.
It's a lot, man.
It's a lot to process.
It's a lot to process. Then they followed that up with Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, which is, I guess, an anthology show, but by the directors of so many different horror movies and stuff. One of them, they were showing the movies. They're like the director of blah blah blah, the director of blah blah, and one of them was the director of Splice. So I was like, is that James Gunn?
Splice?
Was Splice James Gunn? Was he not?
No. Splice was a Canadian film.
Oh, fuck. For some
So you're thinking Slither.
Ah, fuck! I am thinking Slither. God damn it!
I couldn't think of it for a sec there. I knew exactly what you meant.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Splice was directed by Vincenzo Natali.
Oh,
who's
yes.
an American-born Canadian.
I do.
Actually, yeah, I know that name a lot from basically just he's a great television director.
He did Cube.
Oh yes, fuck Cube.
Which they're remaking right now.
Oh,
really?
Hopefully,
They're doing some kind of weird crowdsourcing thing for it too, where like they're asking people for suggestions on what they want to see in a remake for it. I'm like, I don't like that. That's how camels were made. Like, that's no.
That's how Morbius got back in theaters.
Yeah. Yes. Even more so. Oh my God, Hawk. Well, maybe we'll talk about that at the end of the news. Then they showed the trailer, the teaser trailer for the Midnight Club, which is from the producers of Midnight Mass and The Haunting of all those houses.
Hill House and Bly Manor. Yeah,
Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan.
So that looks fucking
watching
awesome.
that first thing after this.
Which is interesting because he's currently, I don't know if they're done filming, but
they are done filming that other show that he did.
The Fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah.
Which is Mark Hamill.
Skywalker.
And then they followed that up with a trailer for a sci-fi, like Buffy-esque horror type thing called The Imperfects, which is 3 people that were genetically manipulated during their 20s or something. And yeah, I don't know. It looks fine, I guess. It looks fine. Is that a good glowing recommendation? Then I already said. Then they followed that up with Sweet Tooth season 2, the wrap, which is coming soon. I hope that means 2022. Then they showed the teaser trailer for Lock and Key season 3. I still haven't watched season 2 yet, so I didn't want to watch it.
I haven't finished season 1 yet, so
Season 1 was good. Season 2 was also good from what I saw. What's his name from Star Trek? He was the green guy. We had on Strange New Pod. What was that guy's name? I can't remember.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Ian Lake. Ian Lake is in the first episode of the new season of Stranger Things. Oh, not Stranger Things. The second season of Lock and Key. And I was sitting there, it's like, fucking Ian, what? Very funny. Then they had another couple announcements for shows that were coming back. Fate, the Winx Saga, which I never watched. I don't know if anyone else watched that.
What? I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's some sort of magic-y show.
Okay.
Warrior Nun season 2 is coming. I never watched season 1 of Warrior Nun.
Nope.
Manifest season 4, which I forgot was a thing. Then they had a blooper.
That one came back?
Yeah. It keeps on coming back for some reason. I think they have an end date for Manifest. I think this is the last season or 5th season, last season. I can't remember what they said. Vikings Valhalla season 1, they released the bloopers, which I guess is
thought
funny.
Vikings Valhalla was a History Channel show. It's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, the two hosts, one of the hosts was Hawk from Cobra Kai. So it was nice hearing him talk during this whole thing. Then they announced the second season for All of Us Are Dead. I never watched that either.
Oh yeah, I forgot I have to finish that. Really
there's
good.
so much on Netflix that I've not watched. And
I know.
This is a reminder of all the shit that I've started.
The
and
only
never
2
finished.
things I watch on Netflix are Stranger Things and The Witcher.
Those are both good things. So I don't fault you for that. My voice is starting
Well,
to
then you
get
won't give a
rough.
shit about the news that I have then.
Oh, well, no, I will. Then the next thing they did was have their first look at. They're making a live action adaptation of One Piece, the anime.
Oh, I posted this in the Weebiest server I'm in because I don't give a shit about anime, right? Like I don't.
Is it Witch's server?
Oh, they got so mad.
Why?
And I was like, I genuinely like my buddy Brian wants me to watch only the live action adaptation of animes because he knows I don't care about anime, and then like talk about how good or bad they are.
Did you watch Cowboy Bebop?
I actually loved Cowboy, but I've also seen Cowboy Bebop. I watched the movie, and it was like I've only seen like Dragon Ball and Cowboy Bebop.
Did you watch the live action Dragon Ball?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because I watched Dragon Ball when I was like 10.
That's fair. I just want to know your opinion on how bad that fucking movie.
I don't know. Wait, didn't I just say something? We were like we were praising a martial arts director.
One Piece. Wait,
no.
sorry.
Last podcast when we did Everything Everywhere all at once, where like the director of that I think is the same person who did Dragon Ball Evolution or something.
Probably. I don't know. I know that Dragon
Ball. This director's great. I'm like, are we allowed to like this director because of that movie?
Dragon Ball Evolution had a lot of like producer, and they wanted to be like, let's Americanize it more, and they're like, okay, it's my first big movie. Right. Right. Then they had the first official trailer for Resident Evil, the TV series that they're doing on Netflix. It looks better than Raccoon City, so thumbs up, I guess. I don't know.
I took a shit earlier that looks better than Raccoon
It has
City.
Lance Henriksen.
Lance Henriksen?
No, not Lance Henriksen. The guy from fucking Fringe and
Lance Reddick.
Oh. Yeah.
Lance Reddick. Why did you say
Lance
Reddick?
Destiny? Isn't he in Destiny?
Yeah, Destiny. That was the other thing I was gonna say. Then they had the teaser for 1899. I never watched it, so I don't know what that's.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither. The thing that made me really excited was they had the date announcement for the Sandman and released a trailer for it. It's August 5th. It's coming out very soon. I'm fucking stupid excited for it. Excited.
There wasn't like a lot in the way of, you couldn't really tell what was going on plot wise with it, but every single scene in it was gorgeous looking.
Hasn't Neil Gaiman been like adamant that they actually adapt it properly?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
he was there every day, pretty much.
I suspect it's going to follow the comic then.
It follows
novel.
He said that graphic novel, you're right. He said it follows the first arc pretty much, but they modernized it to now, like, because it was set in the 80s. But she's like, it's fine. It's just a little bit of changing. And I was like, cool. They didn't. All the teasers showed Lucifer, but this one didn't even have her in it. So that was
I think they should start like modernizing shows where it's like it's set in the 80s and then do everything like 80s music and like everything, but like leave in cell phones and modern cars and just act like it's the 80s for some reason. God. Like everybody's got the haircut and the shirts and stuff, but nothing else is updated. There's no record stores anywhere.
All the malls are empty.
Yeah.
They also had
like,
the first.
No, we swear it's the 80s. We swear.
They ended on an exclusive clip from First Kill, but I don't know what that is, so I can't really explain. I'm not doing well in that part.
There's somebody out there who's like, I love First Kill. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's probably an anime that got adapted. That sounds right.
It's falling in love is tricky for teens Juliet and Calliope because one's a vampire and the other's a vampire hunter. Womp womp. That's what it's called. That's
so
what it's
Angel and Buffy.
I guess it's another young adult property, which fair. Actually, that makes sense.
It's Underworld.
Based on series creator V.E. Schwab's short story. Ugh.
I mean, it's probably a good idea, a good marketing strategy from Netflix, right? Where it's like you want to get people in their teens and attract them, and then hold them as customers as they get into, because their parents might be like, "There's nothing on Netflix for me. I'm gonna get rid of it," and the kids are like, "Yeah, but mom, I like this show," and then fucking $30 a month or whatever.
And you say, "That's what the fucking CW's for, child. Watch this."
Yeah, yeah. You can actually, the CW is over the air. Like,
did you
so
see the fucking trailer for Gotham Knights, their TV show about Batman dying and their kids all
somehow completely unrelated from the video game of the same name?
Yeah, unrelated to any of the Gotham Knights. So it's Joker's kid, Batman's kid, Carrie Kelly, and some other person I don't know who.
Riddler's kid, the Kiddler.
It is the worst fucking trailer I've ever seen. which is sad because the guy who plays Castiel from Supernatural is in it, and he's playing Harvey Dent.
That is too bad
because I like him, but that show looks fucking terrible.
On the,
can I read it?
There are a huge amount of benefits to having so many streaming platforms, so everybody can get their property made. And on the downside, there's so many streaming platforms, so everybody can get their property made.
Can I read a headline from The Direct?
Yep.
Gotham Knights game distances itself from CW show after awful trailer.
That is
amazing.
So
that is amazing.
It's no surprise to anyone that I've been in school, and 2 weeks ago when I was at school, there was a film production, and they were there were Star Lab stickers all over the school in our
shit.
tech wing. And it's so funny because like now when I think about the TV show, like I don't watch it, but like when I think about TV shows and I'm like, you see like somewhere in the background and like that says a thing and that room doesn't look anything like this is the hospital and it looks like a fucking like computer lab. I was walking down the hallway and like this is the medical wing and it's full of 3D printers, and then like this is the tech lab and it's full of like like woodworking tools or whatever. I'm like, what is going on? And they're just stickers all over the wall. Like that wing's really cool. It does look like if you played a video game in the year like from like 2000 to 2010 and it was a first person shooter, walking down that hallway is what every like science lab looked like in a video game.
Yeah.
Like, all glass panels, doors you can't open.
You know what that was? It was probably Titans because they're filming right now.
No, it was Titans. Yeah. It said Star
Oh.
Labs and everything. Yeah, we asked the producer, like, what are you guys doing? We're filming Titans. We're like, oh, cool.
They film
I thought-
Titans
I-
around
I
here all the
thought-
time. So
I for sure thought it was going to be like the Flash or final season.
Flash
No,
is
that's all
all
Vancouver.
West Coast, yeah. West Coast. Oh my god.
Because Gotham's got to be a shittier looking place. So
Yeah,
But he's in
Hamilton's
Star.
great for that.
Yeah.
God bless Hamilton. We can double as Gotham. We double as Harlem. Like
They used the closed down penitentiary in Guelph as Arkham Asylum.
Oh,
So we actually drove by it when they were filming. I was like, oh, look at all these fucking GCPD cars and all this other stuff. And they were filming. And I was like, oh, do we break in? No. But
I mean, if we hadn't have demolished the sanitarium, they could have used that here too.
oh man, I used to love that building. Not to the outside, not going inside. I don't know. I don't want to see the fucking ghosts or anything.
yeah.
That
And
haunt
you
that
know
place.
it's haunted. You know it's haunted.
All the lights are flickering because we're talking about Stranger Things now. Wait.
Well, hang on. You missed,
You did have
you
something.
missed
I
two
forgot.
shows in the news.
What?
You missed two shows in the news. One, which I was actually surprised they didn't include in the Netflix dumps today, but I think it's because they announced it a little while ago. But Cobra Kai season 5.
Geeked Out is actually from June 6th to June 10th, so they're actually announcing shit every day this week.
Okay. Well, they had already played the trailer a couple weeks ago. That's why I was bringing it up now. But Cobra Kai season 5 coming in September instead of December this year.
Yeah,
Because they filmed it back to back with season 4. So I'm pumped for that.
it looks good.
And I believe it was yesterday or the day before it was officially picked up for season 2. Our Flag Means Death.
Yes,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, they
nice.
did. That was over the weekend. Yeah,
Yeah, they
Ah.
actually apologized for keeping us waiting on that.
More
Damn
fucking
straight.
things with Rise Darby. Rise Darby's so
Yes.
funny.
Yeah.
Have you guys all watched that show?
Yes.
Oh my
No,
god,
I haven't
haven't.
finished. I haven't finished yet, but I've watched the first few.
It's such a beautiful show, and I can't describe it anything other than that. Like everything they do is so well done. Like this, it's just like
You know
an
what?
emotional roller coaster, and like comedic timing is just fucking like spot on.
I've been like
I got a bad
flip-flopping.
guy.
Because I watched Stranger Things, we did Kenobi and all this, and the boys. I've been kind of flip flopping. Like, I need something to watch. So like, I watched the first episode of Ash versus the Evil Dead, and I was like,
Oh, that was a fun
eh.
show.
And then I was like, I should watch something shorter. And I was gonna start watching Jack Ryan because we never ended up getting around to watching
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, that's what I should watch. I should just go binge Our Flag.
That's
Means
another one
Death.
that's on my list still to finish.
Yeah. One day I will watch
That-
Jack Ryan.
That and Jack Reacher, I'd like to try as well.
He was
One,
all right.
Like Jack
last
Reacher.
quick bit of news
Go for it.
before we. There was a petition circulating online to have Bruce Campbell replace Amber Heard in the Aquaman 2 sequel. And apparently it's gotten like 35 million signatures already.
He,
so-
he tweeted, "Send me a script." Right? Like,
But
I saw something about that story where he was like letting people know, like, this is not actually happening. Like, this is a fake petition. This is not real, but I'm flattered. Like,
I mean, like those petitions don't work for movies. That's
No.
not how movies work. Like, you
No.
can't.
didn't it work for the fucking
Sonic?
Snyder cut and Sonic?
No, those weren't just petitions.
I
though,
know,
right? Like,
Those were,
it was like
yeah.
a real groundswell that the studio went. Actually, there's a lot of people talking about this. 7 million people could, like, fucking 50 million people could sign up for that, and they're not going to replace anyone with Bruce Campbell in that movie.
It just brought a smile to my face to hear it, though.
Oh my god, James Wan's probably like, you fucking nerd.
that just brings me back to the petition for the Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion.
Yeah.
What? Who's that?
They did do that, though. They did do that in Alberta.
They
in
did
Edmonton,
actually
I
do
think.
it? Oh, shit.
Yeah, but it was like a temporary. It was like temporarily named that for like one
It was-
festival.
It was like some park or something in Alberta that they did a petition to rename it the Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion. Because apparently he visited there once and everyone loved him.
Edmonton Edmonton City Hall will be renamed Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion for 24 hours. This is from August 2021.
He's from Edmonton, is he not? Wasn't he born there?
Yeah, who's fastest on this?
He was born in Edmonton, yeah.
Yeah, I thought
he went to Concordia University.
What? You know what he's not in? Stranger Things.
Everything
Let's get into this.
Good is from Canada.
Yeah. It's true. Like the winners of Survivor. So we're talking about Stranger Things season 4. The show that took fucking years to come out, but it's here.
It was worth it.
It was worth it because the first
worth the fucking wait.
The first 7 episodes. It was 7, right?
7. Yep.
7 episodes came out on May 27th. That's part 1. Part 2 comes out July 1st. So
happy birthday to me.
They are giving us a month to process everything that happened and
also to make sure people stay subscribed.
It's true. Oh yeah, those smart motherfuckers. They're gonna probably show a teaser for it during Geek Week, right? Anyway. Yeah, so
just don't watch it. Just don't watch it then.
So season 4 picks up about a year or so after season 3 with 11 and what was his name?
The Byers family.
The Byers family out in California.
Will and Jonathan.
Everyone else is back in
Hawkins,
except for
Hopper.
Except for Hopper, who's off in Russia. We're gonna what?
Hopper's dead at the beginning, remember?
No.
At the end of season 3 of
I know
Stranger
they
Things.
did say the American, but
I know.
That's still it's technically you're meant to believe he's
except he was in the first trailer for Stranger Things.
Yeah. It's also very strange that he somehow teleported through that thing to Russia instead of the upside down, but
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's talk. Well, let's do like we normally do. We're gonna do a TLDR, non-spoiler, what we thought of it, and then we're gonna go into it. Just a nice little conversation about the season. Let's start with Brent. What did you think of it? 2-3 sentences.
Fucking 3 words. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic.
That's one word reported 3 times.
I loved this season so much.
It was so good. Normally they did like a sci-fi like E.T. Amblin type 80s thing. They went full fucking horror this season.
Well, that's what I've noticed is that if you look at the time era that the show takes place in each season, they tend to model the show after what was popular at that time. Like at the first season, like you're looking at Close Encounters and E.T., and they're modeling the show very much after that. You get into this season now, what came out in 84 that was like a smash hit, was really taking over everything, was Nightmare on Elm Street. And so that's why they shift the gears into the kind of horror genre at this point. So they're following the trends of the time, and it's fucking awesome.
All right, Dave.
Which season was Halloween?
2.
That would have been -2.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because Halloween came out in 79. I think this is the best season since season 1. Season
I agree.
2 is probably a third. Season 3, I really I was actually hesitating to even watch this season because I didn't care for season 3 so much.
I was opposite. I liked season 3. I didn't like season 2 very much.
There were parts I liked for season 3, but overall I was like, I just want to get through this, But
Hopper was very angry in season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just like, dude, you gotta chill, man.
But I really, really liked the season, and so far, I guess. And I had a theory very early on, and I was correct.
Nice. I'm looking forward to hearing that. Cock, what'd you think?
Same opinion as Dave. This has been my favorite season since the first one, and I'm the most excited. I was a little kind of, I'll give it a watch, after the last 2 seasons and that. I was super, and as soon as I watched the first episode, I was hooked. The thing that really impressed me was how well they coordinated, like, basically 4 separate stories in that involving the characters. And it didn't feel like they lost any pacing on it in that. I was interested in seeing what happened in everybody's.
That did worry me. Like, how are they going to make sure that they don't fuck up?
And they were parents.
Not only that, but like in every story, in each of the 4 storylines, they're also introducing new characters that we have, and we're loving each and every one of them that they're bringing in. Like,
And not, they're not inconsequential people. They're just like new people to love. I'm gonna agree with everyone here. Like, it's fucking amazing. This season was so good. I really like seasons 1 and 2. Season 3 was I really liked Bob from season 2. So,
Bob. Yeah, Bob is the best part about season 2. Hands down.
Yeah.
So, justice for Bob.
But justice for Barb, justice for Bob, justice for
this. But this season probably is the best one. Like, I love season 1. I think this is already better. Like, that's a high order because I really like season 1. So let's get into the spoilers. Let's do it.
What did you guys think of the new cast members? Because I really like Jack and Hagar in this. That's the guy in Russia.
I was trying for the longest time to figure out who that was, and I was talking to Hawk about it. I was like, that Russian dude guard is so good, and like he looks so familiar.
Yeah, a man needs a face, and apparently that face is that Russian guard.
Fuck, that's what it is.
Yeah. Hawk recognized the voice.
Trying to place him the whole time. Holy
Hawk
shit.
kept on saying, the faceless man. I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh shit.
He's like, Game of Thrones. Let's go. Fuck. Oh yeah. Shit. I also like the pizza dude. I thought he was hilarious.
He reminds me so much of the character, the best friend in the Goofy movie. Just that's like him to a T. Wait, what's up, bro? Oh. Loves pizza.
Absolutely.
Tower cheese.
I feel bad that I can't remember the character's name, especially because like half the plot revolves around him. But the D&D guy.
The Dungeon Master.
Eddie Munson.
Yeah, the Dungeon Master.
Eddie. Yeah.
I fucking love Eddie. I love
because he looks like Eddie Van Halen.
No, not even fucking. Every moment he is on screen, I am smiling ear to ear.
It's true. He's so good. I'm looking forward to him playing electric guitar in the Upside Down that we saw in the trailer, like fucking ages ago. Do you remember that? There's that one little scene where he's like, fucking on top of.
I never bothered after season 3. I never bothered with the trailers because I wasn't too psyched for this.
That's fair.
Going into it.
Also, how awesome has Steve been? Finally,
he was awesome every season.
He's always awesome.
But he's like awesomer. He just gets more awesome every season.
I also really enjoyed the friendly orderly played by Jamie Campbell Bower, which we will talk about in a bit.
I'm touching back on the Steve thing. I'm loving Steve this season because this is the first season where Steve is becoming his own character. He's not beholden to being like, it's Steve and Nancy, it's Steve and Dustin, it's Steve and Robin. This season is the first time where Steve is like his own character and connected to everybody, and I fucking love that.
I like that Eddie is trying to push him into being like, dude, you were a cool guy, but you're also a nice guy, and you're like, there's more to you than just being like the side person for certain people. And I was like, oh fuck, you're awesome, Eddie. Let's get into spoiler territory because I want to talk. I want to officially
specific
spoilers. So, we forgot to say Murray's fucking amazing too.
Murray's always amazing,
and the pilot. The pilot's pretty great.
The pilot, I can't remember his name, buddy. Yeah. I want to say Sergey, but that just seems generic Russian.
Right?
Is it?
I don't know. It wasn't Sergey, but it was one of those like traditional Russian names like Ivan or
was it Ivan? I think it might be Ivan.
No, it had to be Ivan.
Oh fuck, what is it?
I don't think it was. Hang on, we're looking this up. Continue, I'll look it up.
All right, so let's just jump on. Like, it was a high order to get into this, and
Enzo.
That is not
Enzo was the name of the restaurant. Yeah, that was his code name.
Oh,
right?
Yuri. Sorry, Enzo was the name of the rest. Enzo was like the code name, and Yuri's the guy.
Enzo is a fucking Italian name.
That's what I thought, but I'm like, Enzo sounds. Oh wait, no,
that was important for the first couple episodes. So like we said earlier in the I think Hawk was the one who said it, that there's a tall order going into the season and then breaking up all of the main characters into separate little groups. What do you think about each of these 4 individual storylines? Anyone jump in, go for it.
It was at first it was a little slow going for me. The only storyline that I was really attached to was once Mike got to California, and the whole Elle and Will storyline of what's going on with the high school and that, and just like going back to like me being that kid that was bullied in high school and wanting to see her get the vengeance against him.
Oh.
That was the only story that was really pulling me in at that point. Like I couldn't care the others. The other ones didn't really pick up until about 3 or 4 episodes in. Like especially the Joyce and Murray going to Russia didn't really pick up until much later.
Yeah, once they got into
does it feel weird that Joyce is like, well, I guess I'm going to Russia. I'll just leave my fucking kids and not really like. There's a lot of lying happening, which is a staple of horror movies, right? Where it's like I can't tell anybody the truth. Elle's lying to Mike. You know, Joyce is lying to like all of the kids.
Yeah.
That's just tell people the truth and things work out a lot better.
Hey, look who randomly was in California. Murray. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And all the kids are like, what the fuck?
Why is Murray here?
The L storyline just spoke to me so much as that kid who was bullied in high school and that guy who wanted to take a fucking roller skate to somebody's face like she did. Like just
Millie Bobby Brown really fought for this bullying storyline. She was talking about how a lot of the kids are now like like producers and stuff on the show, so they're allowed to mold a little bit of their storylines, and she really wanted to talk about bullying because she was bullied at a young age, and she wanted to make sure that was an important part of her, especially.
It was super well played out.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this was still the time when bullying was treated with the kind of, well, you know, get over it, or, you know,
I
sort
think
it out
it's still
yourself.
sort of like that, isn't it?
It's so weird
Yeah.
because, like, when I was a kid, you either just like, we're they going to fight or we're going to get someone bigger to go beat the shit out of you. Like, it's one or the other. Like, like, it's so weird that, to me, that you can't go to a teacher. Like, the teachers are like, no, it's fine.
I was her. Like I didn't go to teacher because I was afraid of like if I ratted out these kids to the teacher that I was just going to get beat up even more. But like I was her on those school trips to roller gardens where I had those fantasies of taking the skate off and hitting a certain fucking person in the face. Like, you know, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
So thank God TV does it for you.
It's sort of amazing that bullying storyline is even mirrored in her flashbacks to when she was at the lab, right? Because she got bullied there too. She got help from
The orderly.
the orderly. I was
Is
like, sort of. He's the one who sort of told her how to channel her powers.
So one thing, Eric, what you wanted me to bring up earlier was the Duffer brothers fucked up, and it's when it's when they go to the roller skate rink, right? We see a camera. That shot was completely superfluous, but they decide to film them bullying 11, right? Or what do they call her? Jane. And it says March 22nd. If we go back to season 2, that's Will's birthday.
Oh.
For a second I was like, oh, that explains why Will's so upset that they're blah blah blah. They're like, no, the Duffer brothers were like, we totally forgot it was Will's birthday. We wrote that 6 years ago. So that whole storyline that happens is on Will's birthday, and apparently even Will's forgotten about it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He even painted a picture to give to Mike on his own birthday.
They mentioned that, like, you know, like George R. Martin and Stephen King have people whose job it is to keep track of things, and I'm like, how the fuck do you make a show as big as Stranger Things and you don't have someone whose job it is to be your lore keeper?
Especially you have 365 days of the fucking year to pick from, and what are the odds you pick the one?
It's
about
probably
1 in 365.
It's probably like one of their anniversaries or one of their kids' birthdays or something, and just like, oh, let's pick this one again.
And it's such a huge thing in season 2, right? That's how Joyce brings like Will back out of the mind flayer, right?
Oh man.
What a weird fuck up, you know? Like,
go for it.
How about the subtext in the series and that regarding cults and its association with D&D? And
I wanted to talk about
the whole hysteria from the 80s and that regarding, like, you know, satanic cults and that.
Satanic Panic. Dave, do you want to talk about this? You played D&D longer
Dungeon
than
Master.
I played D&D in the actually, well, was it the 90s? I did play in the 90s. But I was also like I was 9, you know, like we didn't worry about you know, my mom was never worried about that shit. She wasn't worried that we were worshiping demons.
Yeah.
What bothers me actually is that a lot of the time that the people who push that narrative are like, oh, they're worshiping demons. And like a lot of what these kids were actually doing was like, oh, I'm playing a paladin. I kill demons. So it's like isn't that what you want your Christian kids to grow up like they want to be crusaders for like your faith, and instead you're telling them they're evil for doing that? I don't know.
I wish
it always bothered me.
I wish I had a story about the Satanic Panic because I never played D&D in the 80s. I was not old enough to play it in the 80s. I don't think.
Yeah, you got to be in your 40s or earlier to have actually experienced.
I am in my 40s.
Yeah, aren't we all?
No, not Dave.
Oh, you youngin! Look at you, you youngin.
But
it was born at the end of the 80s.
I think my favorite story about the Satanic Panic, unless Hawk, do you have any stories about this era?
No, but the entire time they were the guy was going on about how D&D drives people crazy, and that I was like, this is the plot from that terrible made-for-TV movie.
Mazes and Monsters?
Mazes and Monsters.
Starring Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Guys, I don't know what I'm doing.
I thought I saw that on Prime the other day. And if it is, I'm gonna fucking watch
that movie.
It.
Is a propaganda movie. Like that movie was designed to try and get kids to not play D&D.
Oh, I never watched it.
Oh, I saw it. Oh man,
I remember. So one of the guys we played D&D with worked at HMV, and he was he had like every VHS, and then he was getting rid of it. So he would give away his VHS as he bought the DVDs, and he would be like, "You gotta watch this. You gotta watch this." And one of the things was like, "Here, Mazes and Monsters." I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking watch this. Like it's enemy propaganda. But he did have it. He had it on VHS.
I love that Satanic Panic was once again trending on it was trending on Twitter, and one person I follow who Dave also follows and who we've had on the show, Jim Sub,
our buddy,
had an amazing story about the Satanic Panic back in the 80s because he used to play with his brother, and his mom ended up taking away all their books. So to convince their parents to let them play, they asked their dad to roll a character. So they made a whole little campaign. Apparently their dad spent like 2 hours building this character because he was asking questions about every single.
Would have been probably basic rules too.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. He didn't say
much more complicated than what we play now.
Yeah, so he 2.5 hours building this character. He asked questions about everything. He wanted to know how everything worked. They start the campaign. First monster they encounter. Character dies. And so for 2.5 hours of character creation, 15 minutes of gameplay, just dead. And they're like, do you want to re-roll another character? He's like, no. And he got up, he left, and they ended up putting their ears against the door because they wanted to hear what he was saying to their mom. And she's like, so is it as bad as they say? And he's like, no. It's just stupid.
Yeah. If Jim actually did a TEDx talk about D&D called Raised by Dragons. It's really good, actually.
Oh.
Tells the story because his brother was the one who got him into it and all that. And you got to understand, like, the guy who writes the Pathfinder, Rick and Morty, D&D comics now, like official stuff. He's had a huge hand in like some of the stories for the recent books that came out. He's played at D&D Live. You got to play Minsk.
Yep.
He was Minsk on D&D Live, and it's actually going to be Minsk on another D&D show coming up soon with Matt Mercer. Matt Mercer played Boo, which was wonderful.
He also
so it's not like he's just some random fucking guy that we like to talk about.
He did the Young Adventurers guides that I read to my kids that are slowly getting them into D&D, which I enjoy. I actually started writing a My Little Pony campaign for my daughter, so we'll see how that goes.
Friendship is magic.
Friendship is magic, unless a dragon is there to stop their friendship, which is what's gonna happen. But that's
so
okay.
When I have to bring up the really convoluted lore in D&D, when I say things like when we were playing, oh god, it's been a while, I know, but when I was like, it's a Yugoloth or it's a blah blah blah, that's because the Satanic Panic made them stop calling them demons and devils.
Yeah.
So devils became whatever they were called, and demons became whatever they're called, and all these different things, and so that they wouldn't be like, oh, you would open a book and it wouldn't say demon or devil. It would be like, it's a lawful evil extraplanar creature and it's this type of blah blah blah. But it's a demon or it's a devil, blah, blah, an evil spirit.
Well, we might as well go off of that. We're talking about demons and devils. Let's talk about Vecna.
Vecna is not a demon or a devil.
Well, no, like I was talking about like bad guys. So I was just gonna.
Well, the bad guy that the kid. It's weird because they talk about Vecna, right? That the
during
kids
the
talk
campaign,
about Vecna, but They don't play D&D. They haven't played D&D yet.
They did play D&D in that one campaign at the beginning, right? With
the very
right,
beginning.
no, I mean, like in this season, like every season's always had, like the first season they were gonna fight the Demogorgon. That was like it was a parallel, right? Like Will the Wise and all this stuff. But this season they haven't got to play D&D. I thought they were still gonna have that.
They did first episode.
The first episode.
That's where that's where the name Vecna came from.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, they had
that was the campaign they were playing.
They brought what's his Lucas's little sister.
They brought
in,
Lucas's sister in because he was too busy with the basketball game.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of like Mike and Will and all that. Not
they only had Dustin and
It was Dustin, Mike, and
play.
Lucas's sister, plus the other guys
Hellfire
names
guys.
I don't remember.
The two unnamed nerds.
The three because they showed them later as that metal band in the garage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They start beating them up.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you guys think of introducing Vecna? And I feel like this is a bigger question for Dave since Vecna is actually in the comics. And
what I
not comics,
realized is that I'm like, because I was like, oh, Vecna, like a lich, how's an undead creature? They have an undead. I was like, oh, right, none of these things actually parallel what they are in D&D. The Demogorgon is not a two-headed, arch demon. So Vecna is just like a very powerful, like ancient wizard.
Yeah.
Which I actually think kind of fits, maybe.
Yeah.
Like it's not a terrible like metaphor, I guess, for what the character, what I think I figured out what the character is anyway.
Were you guys surprised that one ended up becoming Vecna?
No, that was my theory actually.
That was my theory too.
And not only that, but I knew it was the orderly at the start. I'm like,
same.
that guy looks like Vecna. That's gonna be Vecna.
I just assumed because they showed him a lot.
The original kid, but also is that kid is, well, I mean, the biggest spoiler is Robert Englund's son, right? Or his character's son.
That was a surprise.
He's the one who
that I didn't see coming. Yeah. I was spoiled that the orderly was Vecna.
By a friend?
I did see, I saw a cast listing of him, like, it was like the character name / Vecna, and I was okay, no. So I knew that eventually he was going to become, but the whole plot of him being the son of Robert Englund's character, like that, I did not see coming. That blew me away.
As soon as that family was in it, I was like, oh, that's the son. I was like, the son didn't die. That kid, that's the origin, right? That's why Hawkins has a lab. That's why all this shit, right?
Now here's a question I have. Vecna is very obviously, like, the way they're portraying it is based off of it's Freddy Krueger. He haunts you and like gives you nightmares, and then eventually like comes to you in your dreams and kills you in that. So very clearly, do you think that that's why Robert Englund was cast, or do you think it was Robert Englund was cast because he's an 80s icon?
Yeah.
No, both.
Yeah.
I think 100% it was, like, hey, we're going with the Freddy Krueger storyline. Let's get fucking Freddy Krueger.
Very much so. It was all about, like, it was certain genes that would get isolated in that and killed in this, bizarre manner in that. Like, from the original, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, remember how, like, Johnny Depp, how he went out? Or actually, the one I was thinking of was the first murder in that.
Didn't he die in 3?
No.
Johnny Depp was in the first one.
Yeah, it was the girl in the movie in that, and the way she, basically thrown like all over the entire like bedroom.
Yeah, Tina.
Yeah. The whole season was very influenced by the first Nightmare on Elm Street. So Robert Englund showing up was, it was a given.
There'd be 2 points I'd make about like how the sort of effects work, which is one, like the way they kind of like die. I was like, oh, that feels very like stigmata, like horror, like Exorcist, like there's a demon.
Oh my god, it was terrifying.
Right? Oh yeah. It's fucking brutal. But the other thing is they're all dying. Like these are people who are like burdened by a secret. And one of the things in D&D is Vecna, when Vecna, if he does ever ascend to godhood in different versions of whatever story you're playing, he's the god of secrets. Like Vecna's all about knowing secrets and keeping that from people. So when I was like, early on, I was like, I get why they would choose Vecna, because all these people are like trying to keep a secret from people, and that's what's killing them. It's not their trauma. It's that, but it is their trauma, right? It's the fact, and I feel like that's maybe what this show is saying, is that don't keep your trauma a secret, because by unburdening yourself with it, that's what's going to free you of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of
emotional damage.
But I remember listening.
This is how we get to the big leagues as a podcast.
I remember. Sorry, I remember reading it or listening to an interview from the Duffer brothers, And they're saying that they're like people that they're like, these are the people we want to work with. And if there's a way that we can get them in this, because there are icons, they're definitely we're gonna try and get them on the show. And Robert Englund was one of those people. I hope, just out of morbid curiosity, I hope they get Jackie Earle Haley to show up as well. Because
he's so good.
He is.
He was good as Freddy Krueger too. I enjoyed him as Freddy Krueger.
You know what? He's better though in The Tick.
It's true.
If you remember The Tick.
I do. Oh, wait. He played the main villain in that,
yes,
right?
there's a great line I'll never forget. Show?
Yes.
Where no. The one with on Prime. I can't remember
with Peter Serafinowicz, right?
Yeah. Yes. There's a great. I'm sorry. I just love this bit so much. Where like he's been gone for like years, and he shows up, and his main henchman is like, "Sir, it's so great to see. I can't believe where have you been?" And he goes, killing the bees." just like so nonchalantly, like wait a minute, this is an ecological disaster. That's actually a very villainous thing to be doing.
He played the Terror on the
Terror. Yeah. I loved it. Just the dry. I'm sorry. That's just like my favorite role of his.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else felt this way. Like, so the whole storyline of Vecna like attacking people that have like guilt over things that happened in their past, and that. The moment that I absolutely fell in love with this season was when I realized just how much they had written everything ahead of time and planned this all out. Was the moment when Nancy gets possessed because of Barb, and I was like, holy shit, they really did have this whole, because they did announce that they're only doing 5 seasons because they wrote it out.
Oh, they're doing another one after this?
Yeah,
they're doing one more.
I am pretty sure they filmed it already.
They announced they were only going to do 4 seasons, but then they felt they couldn't tell the full story in 1 season, so they're doing it in 2.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's when I realized, I'm like, oh, they really did have this planned out, because that was fucking genius to like grab her and bring it back to Barb. And I was like, how did I not see that coming? Like,
I was messaging Hawk when I was watching the final episode, and I was like, this one I find out that Barb came is actually alive, and she's like surviving in the under. He's like, just wait, and then like 2 seconds later, I see her dead body. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, fused into the swimming pool.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I remember they showed it before too.
That's not a thing in D&D necessarily. Although mind flayers do turn people into more mind flayers.
Barb wasn't in D&D.
No, what I'm trying to is what is Vecna doing with the bot? Like he's like got his tendrils out, because clearly like he controls every fucking creature, right?
I think they said that he's taking these people so that he's can build more portals, right? So that they can
that's the whole thing. It's
make a portal big enough.
But he needs her body. I get right. Like he's got her body.
I feel like they're all like batteries, right? They're just like.
Well, like the Matrix.
I feel like we're basing this all on the fact that there are psychic attacks and that. And it's like it's basically like psychic energy is what is causing these tears into like the upside down.
I mean, it certainly seems like his end goal is to come into our world again,
which is what I assume the end of season 4 is going to be. Is him coming over,
and then he's going to fight 11. And it's going to be like Tetsu and what's his face and Akira
in season 5. Yeah,
Tetsu. I 100%, and I don't want to say any like spoil anything, because the Duffer brothers did mention like something about the finale, and I don't necessarily want to say anything, but it wasn't like they didn't give away a definite spoiler, but they basically like said, don't expect to come out of season 4 happy.
Yeah, they said They said that this was their Game of Thrones season. Like everything is on the table.
They said that like don't expect to end this season on a high note. Like, and the thing is, I'm like, if they're gonna do a season 5, obviously, I mean that goes without saying. This season is gonna end on a down note. What that means, who fucking knows?
Steve's gonna
100%. We're in for it. We're in for the ringer.
They're gonna kill someone, and it's gonna be someone that everyone loves, and it's gonna be Steve.
I mean, keep in mind, like your options are kill Joyce, Hopper, right? It's like neither of those are good.
You're not killing Hopper because you already faked his death. They're not going to go ahead and kill him.
There's no. It's like Chewbacca's dead. Oh, Chewbacca's alive.
So the reason I think they're going to kill,
it's going to be one of the kids.
I think it's Steve.
I think they're going to kill Mike.
Oh, they could.
My theory is they're killing Mike.
The only reason I'm saying Steve
is they can't kill Elle, because they've already said Elle is the only person who is powerful enough to fight Vecna. So what is going to make her powerful enough is like her hatred, and the only thing that's going to make her hatred grow is Mike is gone.
True. Or it could be Will, her brother that she's been ignoring.
Nobody cares about Will.
That's why.
Yeah, you know
They
what?
can't even remember his fucking birthday.
I did think something's going to happen with Will because of that painting. Because he's been carrying that thing around, and it's going to be one of those things where he's going to die, and then they're going to open the painting and have an emotional moment.
That's what I was thinking.
But I can't see his death being emotionally impactful enough on the story at this point because
he's
ever since he exorcised the demon in season 2, Will's been a nothing character on the show.
Yeah,
maybe that's why they kill him.
It's also like it's like the guy in the first Hangover, like the one character. You're like, oh, this is a cool character. Oh, we don't see him for the rest of the fucking movie until until they save him. Like that's what Will was like. Like Will didn't do anything in any of these.
I just think it's going to be Mike because Mike creates a lot of story elements for season 5. It creates Elle's anger. It brings Nancy and Steve closer together out of her grief. It's
Mike's best
continues the story of what's happening with the parents in Hawkins right now, which they introduced like at the end of episode 6 about how like the parents are suddenly concerned about oh my god, like what is happening in this town that's involving our children, and the only way to really hit them hard, especially the dad who's become so like oblivious to everything, like hit him with a dead kid, like
hit him with a dead kid.
Now I think that Mike is the most impactful death, and honestly, I think Finn Wolfhard's been kind of phoning in on that show for the past couple seasons, so I think he knows he's on his way out. So, that's my prediction. Dave made his prediction about number 1. That's my prediction for the season.
So
finale.
The problem was I couldn't talk about my prediction with number 1 with it because no one was watching the fucking show when I was watching it. I couldn't message anybody.
So the reason why I think it's Steve is because they're doing all this redemption with him right now. So that's the only reason why I would be like, okay, I could see Steve being the one at the end that died.
Steve would be an impactful death too, but would Steve be an impactful death on the overall story though?
Yeah, no.
Mike really does tie. Mike has the most connections to every character.
I agree.
Like Vecna being connected to everybody. That's a parallel.
So in season 2, we were introduced to 8, who was another person that left the lab, and you remember when 11 went to Chicago, I think it was Chicago, and she did her little
goth phase.
Her little goth phase where she's like, I'm going to join a gang. I'm going to learn about stuff from this other person who left.
As goths do.
Do you think there are other people that have left the lab, like 8, that they're going to bring back? I feel like 8 is.
I don't think so.
I don't think we're going to introduce another character in the last 2 episodes, right? Like,
I think we've introduced so many characters this season that I think what we're doing is we're setting up everything for season 5 right now. Season 4 is setting up season 5, and I can't see them suddenly introducing another character that escaped the lab. I don't think that's going to happen.
I want 8 to come back is what I want. I want to see her come back in season 5. Yeah,
sure.
Possibly, but I mean, like the end of the season, and that pretty much confirmed that, like, you know, they don't have a lot of like psychics left anymore out there.
So we're saying maybe one person dies. What if a bunch of people die?
That's
like
fine.
Like what if they do a red wedding? Like I feel like
it's not that. It's not that kind of show. I don't think it's that kind of show.
I think
this is more of a show where one big impact, because they haven't really ever, other than Bob, they haven't killed any real main characters off on the show.
What if they killed the entire Byers family?
I mean, that would be amazing, because that would also be really good, because that would
set up Hopper.
Yeah.
And then Nancy can be with Steve, and there's no worry about Jonathan.
Jonathan's also been a nothing character this season,
because
right?
they really want to push this back to be like, well, maybe Nancy and Steve are gonna get back. It's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who Nancy's with. That's not who the fuck cares.
And am I the only one who thinks she looks fucking 40 years old in this season? What the fuck happened?
Everybody in Hollywood smokes, is what I understand.
Oh my god, because I went back and watched an episode from like season 1 and 2. Or really quickly, just to like see, and I was like, "Oh my god, she looked like she was 16 back then. She looks like she's fucking 40 now."
Everyone aged a lot.
Hold on, the guy who's playing what's Munson? What's his name? Eddie Munson.
Eddie.
That actor is
29.
like 30, 29,
he's 29,
and he's playing like an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
How old is she? 90210, buddy.
How old is? How does? Well, I'm looking it up right now.
Natalia Dyer.
All right, Natalia. My bad. 95.
She's probably like 20. Yeah.
So she's
24.
24.
Yeah.
24, 25. January.
She still like does not look like she's 24 in this. Like she looks like she's.
They
in
also
her
have that
30s.
fucking terrible 80s makeup too, so that's probably not helping her.
I think it's the hair that's thrown me off the most. Like they gave her like the really nasty 80s hair, and it's like that's aging her like 10, 15 years.
Even like 11's haircut and outfit is just like, I don't know. She's dressing like Joyce, which I think is hilarious, but her hairstyle is just.
Okay, actually, I have a question for you guys because
Yeah.
I've seen some theories about this. When they're in the lab, 11 is talking to they're all talking.
That CGI for her little version is also amazing.
It's good.
I wanted to say that.
I don't think it's that difficult to de-age someone from like 18 to like 12 though, right? Like, just make them shorter, but and like smooth out their skin, but not that much, I guess. Do you think she could talk, and the trauma that was inflicted upon her made her forget? Like that's a thing, right? You can like it's like PTSD can be so bad that you basically forget how to talk.
Yeah,
and a bunch of other things. Or do you think they're all taking psychically in the lab?
I think that her pushing Vecta one through that portal was so traumatically like scarring that
she ripped a hole in space and time with her psychic powers. It's pretty badass.
That it just like she went into shock. Like I feel like that was her.
And I didn't even think it was so much that what she did by sending him through the portal. I think it was more of like she was brutalized by everybody in there. Like she was picked on by everyone, and this was the one person that she felt she could truly rely on and truly trust, and then found out, oh my god, this guy has just been completely using me the whole time. And I think that's the event that caused her to become catatonic. It's just like I can't trust anyone. I can't trust people in general.
Well, no, every authority figure in her life abused her in one way or another, and they all approached her with kindness at first, and then through her like tests and like violence and
reminds me of
even
most
the way
of my life actually, just like even the way like nice to me just so they could use me.
Oh yeah,
she loved Papa. She trusted Papa, but then he managed to turn her against Papa as well, and was like,
and then Paul Reiser this season
trust.
Too,
he turns
right?
me against everyone, and then you are an asshole. So
oh yeah, remember that scene where she had to watch Papa and that basically like torture her bully in front of her.
Number 2, do you think this just popped in mind? Do you think 2 knew that orderly was number 1? Like he looked a little bit old enough to maybe
think
have gone.
I think some of the kids knew, but realized that he didn't have powers anymore, so they were like, "Man, who gives a shit? Like he doesn't matter."
Yeah, I don't think anyone knew. I think he was just kind of like blended into the background as one of the orderlies.
He was just so far.
They've like the first episode back has got to be like, all right, let's explain how that fucking like chip went in his neck, right? Like we got to do some backstory on this shit, right?
Oh, hands down, first episode back to probably the first 15-20 minutes is going to be backstory on him and how he got there.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
I think it'll be everything from him being picked up as the child to where we met him.
Just like a one-up would be awesome, like a montage of like him, like whatever. Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Robert Englund to come and do the show. I'm sure he's going to be in it more too. They've got to add him with.
I think there's going to be like a reconciliation that's not going to go. They're going to be like, "But we brought your dad," and then he just flays him alive or something. Where he's like, "I don't
skins
like
him." Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God, those fucking Black Widows in the jar. Oh, fucking kill me.
Actually, that's a question I have. I don't know if it's something I missed or not. Now, I know that he thought his son was dead in the initial telling of the stories in that, but does he still believe his son is dead?
I think he does. I think he thinks.
Because
I don't know if that was something I missed. As far as I know, I believe he still believes both of his kids died that day.
Because his son, like he knew when he picked up his son was like, oh, he's unconscious. He's like in a coma or whatever, right? But then
I think he thought he said he thought he was dead.
But they tell him
both his kids were dead.
I'm pretty sure they go, hey, your son's dead, bud. Because he's going to go to a fucking lab in Hawkins.
Fuck.
Was that in that family? That's such a weird thing. It's like, this horrific thing happened here. Let's build a lab here. Don't move. Don't take it somewhere else.
I mean,
actually, no. Well,
it's a little. Yeah,
if it's
right.
If
gas
it's the
prices
nexus
being the way they are, you want the cheapest drive.
You're right. Yeah.
The nexus where everything happens, so you got to keep.
Well, but the thing, because and I was about to go like, well, that's where the rift is, but it's like, well, that doesn't happen for like 12 years though.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just one of those things. It's like everything happens in Hawkins, apparently. Like,
yeah, why not?
Why?
Well, he said didn't he say that his powers were amplified in that house? Or that's when he started feeling it more because of him being there?
The sun?
The sun, yeah. I have to watch the last episode again.
I can't. It was something about. It was something. No, it was something about the relationships he had was what amplified it.
Yeah.
It had something to do with like the more that they didn't believe the things he was saying, the more it intensified his anger or something.
This one?
Dark science. Cloning. Secrets only the Sith knew.
Sorry.
Now I mean like it did have something to do with the house because of and
I feel like something.
Fuck you, producers, for that scene with the rabbit. I know it was CGI, but still, fuck you for that scene with the rabbit.
And like anytime,
it's so funny to me that like you'll be disturbed by watching a rabbit like that, but you weren't like, oh man, what you did to those humans, like.
Oh, when that
it's a different. I had a pet rabbit
those were
growing
innocent
up. So
people too.
Yeah, but we don't know.
But
them.
I never had a pet human.
Not yet.
I never had a pet human I had to take care of.
That's a very common thing in that.
Pet humans?
That we watch when we watch shows or movies and that where people are killed. And that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's an ongoing gripe I have with
probably did something bad.
A cat, a rabbit, being killed.
That's why John
probably did something bad, but it's not like you can't like justify like, oh, that rabbit was probably a Nazi in a previous life.
It's
or something like that. You can't quantify that.
It's an ongoing a gripe I have with a lot of humans who care more about animals than people, and they're like, well, animals are innocent. It's like, so are a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. What did you guys think of the whole Russia storyline this year? Because last year it sort of was a little bit, I want to say muddled. I didn't like the Russia thing last year.
It was very last year. It was very meh
this year
until Murray took Yuri out. Then it got better
when he discovered he could beat people up with his martial arts,
with his karate.
The fucking fact that Murray actually was able to do the karate was just the best thing ever. So unexpected and so much fun. Because Murray is just known for like his bluster, so the fact that he was actually telling the truth about that was incredible.
At first I thought it was a little bit slow, to be honest.
Yeah,
the Russia storyline, because I was just like, I don't know.
I love the Hopper and the guard storyline way more than I like Joyce and Murray.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think Joyce and Murray, because it's Murray, they're like, all right, there's going to be one funny story in this show, and it's because it's wherever Murray is, because he's such a fucking clown. But then, of course, it's like, well, what if Murray was useful?
It's just the Murray and Joyce storyline just felt like I was watching a John Candy and Dan Aykroyd movie. Like I felt like I was watching, or not even that. It felt like I was watching Spies Like Us. It felt like a farce the whole time. Yeah. Whereas like the Hopper and the guard storyline felt legit. Like that was a real, like there's high stakes here.
At the same time, though, I like that they were like, listen, we all like Hopper, and Hopper is a very capable individual, but you know what he can't fucking do is escape a gulag by himself.
He almost did.
He killed a lot of Russians.
He would have if it wasn't for Yuri. He would have made it.
He was running in the snow with no shoes and no socks.
I know.
And with a broken foot
and ankle. If Hopper was in Ukraine right now, that war would have ended like 50 days ago.
Yeah.
This
Hopper's whole story felt a lot like Midnight Express, which goes back a lot further than the 80s and that. But that's what I got from it. And that. I really enjoyed his role this season. That again, it was that pacing on that. You know, it's like you knew there was going to be an escape attempt at some point in that, and it was probably going to fail. You know, because he was going to eventually have to fight like one of the Demigorgons in that.
I think it's unfortunate. It's probably going to be David Harbour's best role. Like, I don't know if he's going to be able to. I don't know if he's ever going to get a script that's going to give him something as good as this.
He was good at Black Widow.
I loved him in that.
He was fine. I liked him.
He was great in that.
I didn't like the movie, but I thought he was fine in it.
Are you calling me a liar?
He was all right as Hellboy, I guess. That movie was just terrible.
Yeah.
The movie was terrible. He was all right.
When your only alternative is Ron Perlman's Hellboy, like, you know, you're not going to compare.
Trying to think of what else we could talk about. There was that whole we were talking about how Mike's storyline. Yeah, Mike and the crew that were trying to find 11. That storyline was a little slow, but once they started going on the road trip, I thought it really picked up. I really like that they end up going to see Dustin's girlfriend.
I have to interject real quick. Sorry, I was in the bathroom when I heard the conversation about David Harbour roles. Has anybody heard what his next role is?
No.
They are doing an Under Siege style movie where he plays Santa Claus who has to kill a bunch of military mercenaries.
All right.
Do you know what it's called? Violent Night.
I can look it up.
It's called Violent Night.
That's what it is. I can't fucking wait.
What's it called?
Violent Night.
I'm all in on stupid shit like that. I'm so happy that Ray Liotta's final movie was Cocaine Grizzly or Cocaine Bear.
Violent Night's little tagline is: a group of mercenaries attack the estate of a wealthy family on Christmas Eve, and Santa must save Christmas.
Santa, played by David Harbour.
Wait a minute, is he playing actually Santa or some guy impersonating
That's what
Santa?
he's billed as, Santa Claus.
We don't know.
He's billed as Santa Claus.
Okay, so if he's playing a guy, who's just basically there to do Santa Claus for the night,
it's like Bad Santa, but it's an action movie.
Yeah,
Bad Santa with guns.
This movie also has John Leguizamo and Beverly D'Angelo.
Oh,
so
I think John Leguizamo is so fucking underrated.
He's very good.
He's so good.
I loved him. Like when he showed up in John Wick, I was
him
like,
in a role I didn't think he was phenomenal in.
Luigi.
I thought he was phenomenal as Luigi, to be honest.
He was like
good as Luigi.
He was entertaining in it.
Yeah, he's actually might be the best part of that movie, other than the insane role Dennis Hopper. It's just like
he's been like a multifaceted guy, like for a lot of years. Stand-up comedian, dramatic actor, comedic actor, and that. Like he's basically, he can tackle like any project.
Like when he showed up in John Wick, I was like, "What the fuck is John Leguizamo doing? Like, why is
and
he
he
not
was
in
so
a
good
role?
in it?
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Back to the Mike story.
Yeah,
I was going to say something, and I forgot. Actually, the shootout in the house was awesome.
It was in one take too, right?
Yeah, that was really good. Like I was like, oh, they know how to shoot this. Why the fuck are they doing more of this?
They did that in 5 takes, and
really good job.
The one that they I think the third take they were saying that they had a really good like flow, and they're like, oh shit, this is the one, and then one of the last stuntmen didn't enter. And then he entered like 30 seconds or like a minute late, and then he did his thing and died, and he's like, yeah, fuck, that was great, let's do it. Like that was the one, and everyone's like, you dumbass. All the interviews with everyone from Stranger Things talking about this season are phenomenal. Hot Ones had Millie Bobby Brown on last week, and she called out Tom Holland during her Hot Wings, because like halfway through she's like, is this when Tom Holland cried?
I know she's young, but it is totally subjective, and everybody has different body chemistry when it comes to capsaicin. Yeah. So it's funny, but at the same time, I'm like, don't be shitty. Like
I think she's friends with him, though.
Probably, yeah. It's just, but you're celebrities, so like when you call somebody out for something, like for crying too, like specifically crying, seems like, like come on.
The only ad that I've really seen, or the promotion I've seen for the show, was I watched a YouTube video today of, it was some of the cast on Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show, like rapping.
So sorry.
They were rapping the outline for the entire series leading up to season 4, and it was all right. It was entertaining. Like the kid who plays Will, he actually was not bad. Then they get to Maya Hawke, and she's just, you could just tell she's like, I don't want to fucking be here.
Wasn't she not in season 1 and 2 as well? Like she's only in season 3.
No, but so they only bring her in for to rap about season 3.
Oh, okay.
But you could just tell watching her, she's like, I don't want to be fucking doing this. This is so fucking stupid. Like, do you know who my parents are?
I hope she wouldn't say that. Do you know who my dad is? Okay, he's a lawyer, and he's gonna come down here.
My mom's.
Well, you know who her parents are, right?
Yes, I know Ethan Hawke and
Uma Thurman.
Yeah, I know.
God, what a beautiful family. God, yeah. Any other storylines you guys want to talk about in this?
I mean, I feel like we covered the 4 storylines. We did the D&D club and
Yeah, we didn't talk about. Well, we sort of talked about we didn't really talk about the bullies that are going around pushing the satanic panic, but I think
they're gonna get their comeuppance sooner or later. They're a bunch of pieces of shit, you know.
Yeah. That one kid that died in the boat or out in the water, fuck, that was terrifying. That was just terrifying. Okay, then I guess
that was actually the one thing that I was confused about. Like, that was the one thing where like I said earlier, that I knew the orderly was Vecna going in. I actually wasn't sure if it was the orderly or if it was the one teen who was leading the charge. I knew it was one of the blonde people on the show.
Fair enough.
I didn't know which one it was, but
weird twist to have it be the head of the basketball team.
Yeah,
I know.
Because Vecna's a wizard.
I will have to say I enjoyed that the cameo from Max's brother. I can't remember his name. Billy. I enjoyed that he showed up. They actually filmed that a year apart, both of the actors. So they filmed Max's scenes first, and then a year later, in Australia, they filmed the
honestly, anytime I see Billy, I'm like, oh, it's the Red Ranger. That's
I think that too.
That's how I know him. Like,
I'm surprised. The one thing you didn't bring up tonight, Eric, was the running up that hill sequence.
That was my next question. Okay,
yeah.
It's all over the internet.
I mean, I've always loved that song. Like,
Kate
I
Bush
didn't
is
need the show
amazing.
to reiterate my love of that song,
but I love that everyone.
And that was another one that Brittany posted where. Like, she posted that thing, and then I was on episode 2 at the time, and I'm like, all right, well, eventually there's going to be a running up the hill sequence, and it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it was episode 4.
Yeah, it was episode 4.
The that sequence was phenomenal. That song jumped 5,000% because of Stranger Things, and now people are looking up Kate Bush, and that's a good thing because Kate Bush is amazing.
Because Kate Bush has been amazing. You know, she's always been like the cult status and that. You know, but her following is so intense. You know,
she didn't tour for 26 years.
I know.
And when she toured, like there's this.
Do you know any of her history?
She never toured.
No.
So as I said, Matt Colby, MCDM.
I know of her for all her Peter
dive.
Gabriel work. Like that's how I was introduced to her. Was all the work she did with Peter Gabriel.
When she was
that's how I know her too.
When she was 16 years old, she was signed to EMI, and it took 3 years for her to put her album out in that because she was teaching herself how to play piano. When her album did come out, she didn't go out on tour in that because she's wanted to do something extravagant. So she took dance lessons for like a year in that, putting together a stage show. You know, she's always been this like weirdly like self-produced, you know, it's like it's not somebody you could you could stick a producer on her project and that and, you know, get some sort of result or that. No, it's like she was always in control of her own work.
I think if if you wanted to draw a parallel, it's not a great parallel, but she's like the late 70s, early 80s, like Billie Eilish, where it's just like
I could see that.
She had like total fucking control. The music videos, those were like all her idea.
She
like,
edited
all of her
it,
design.
which is crazy.
Like, I
love
vision.
That's actually
I love that I love that today she's finally getting recognition for that song, because that is not a song that she gets recognition for, because it's usually the Placebo version is the one everyone knows.
I didn't even know Placebo did one.
Oh yeah, like it's their version is the one that you usually hear on like television shows and movies for the past like 15 years and that. So it's nice that she's finally getting recognition for that song. Yeah. Like
I think the two songs that really got pushed this season were Separate Ways by Journey and Kate Bush's Running Up the Hill. Like Journey's always has been popular for like a number of years, and they got that big push because of fucking Glee. But
I got to say the soundtrack work in this season has been phenomenal. The cafeteria scene with Eddie and the guys and that, there was two songs by the Cramps in that plague and that. Yeah. They rolled they did I Was a Teenage Werewolf, which rolled into like their cover of Fever. It was so subtle and it was so well done.
And he's dressed up like fucking he's in Teen Wolf too, right? Yeah. So it's just like, oh, maybe Eddie's a werewolf. But no, he's not. So
no, in regards to the running up that hill sequence, I actually have a question for everyone. Were you surprised that Max lived? Because I really thought they were going to kill her off. No. I really thought they were going to kill her off as like a big emotional stake in the show at that point.
So I thought that, like, part of me was like, oh man, maybe they'll just kill her. But there were scenes in the trailer that I'd seen her in too. So I was like, fuck. That hadn't happened yet.
See, that's why I'm happy I avoided the trailers, because the whole time I thought she was going to get to the end.
But I also don't trust trailers.
Especially because of the emotional weight of the song. I thought she was going to get to the end and it was going to close right on her.
No, I thought that for two reasons. One, I didn't think they would use that much promotional stuff for a scene that was actually going to end that horrifically. Because we've already seen 2 people die, I think, at that point. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, there's no way.
Yeah, but not main characters though.
Yeah,
sure.
There's no real stakes until a main character.
Sure,
gets
but
killed.
it's not just stakes. It's also very early in the, season or episode 4. It's kind of early, but to be like, hey, this is a big part, because there were a lot of promo stuff around that scene, and then to turn it into probably the most fucking horrific part that they could have done doesn't make sense to me. That's why it was used in promo, because it's leading up to a very heroic moment.
And so I think if I had seen any of the trailers or any of the promos, I would be of the same mindset as that.
I think I watched more than one trailer,
them, so
but
I really
everybody wouldn't shut up about this song even before. It's a good song. I'm not saying.
I didn't know the song was in the trailer.
I don't know if it was in the trailer, but
it was
Separate
talking
Ways.
About it. Was in the trailer.
Separate. Well, it's not even Separate Ways. It was a remix of Separate Ways. Yeah. But the song was charting before the episodes were out.
That's weird.
Well, there must have been something for it, because it was the day it came out, it was jumping up to number 1.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
But yeah, it didn't make sense to me that they were gonna kill Max that early, and they needed not a win, but now it's no, now you're all in fucking danger, because someone got away from Vecna. Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now it's not because if Max dies, it's just oh, it's just another person who died to Vecna.
And that
Max
was the thing.
away,
It was for me, it was, is Max going to die and the next one's going to make it, or is Max going to survive and the next one dies? Because there has to be we're going into the final season. There has to be some big stakes on the line. Somebody has to actually be in legitimate danger at some point, to where we can't say with 100% certainty they're going to make it or they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think they also don't want to have a Bob situation again, right? Where it's
I think they do, to be honest.
I think they do. Yeah.
You don't want to.
I think they do, but this time they know they want to have a Bob situation. Last time, I don't think they really understood how much the audience was going to love Bob.
But Bob was specifically such a sweetheart.
Yeah. I think the Bob situation in this is going to propel season 5. I think that's what's going to happen.
I think the Bob situation in season 2 was, they thought this was a guy who we're going to make him lovable and dorky, but the audience is going to the whole time be kind of tongue in cheek with him.
Oh, we
not
knew
really
Bob was going to. I don't think that
live. I don't think that they ever thought that Bob was going to be as huge a character as he was.
I think
they had to know after what happened with Barb.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they knew about Barb. Barb was the big surprise for them. I don't think they thought that, and she went fucking places.
Barb
after
was
that.
Had maybe 20 minutes of screen time.
Mm-hmm.
In season 1, and everyone's fuck, it's been 4 seasons, 6 years, and we're still talking about Barb.
Justice
Hawk,
for Barb.
Did you want to talk about running up that hill sequence, or did you want to move on?
You guys have discussed it so well in that. Yeah. I didn't think she would die in that. I knew this was an escape sequence in that, and as Dave said, it's you have to kind of show that people could escape from Vecna, in order, if he's just this omnipotent monster in that, it's and the only person who could take him out was Elle. That would be horrible in that. It's
it puts his eye on them, right?
Yeah. The one that got away,
Yeah, I have the beholder.
And I think that's also a draw for for the Nightmare on Elm Street films too, in that, because there was that one character Nancy in that, played by Heather Langenkamp. She was always the one who escaped him throughout
not always.
The hand and eye of Vecna are actually relics in D&D.
Yes, I actually did know that.
So when I say his eye, it's a double entendre.
Yeah.
And it would have been weird. It would have been kind of in the middle of the season to have an important character like Max die.
In the middle, yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts before I ask the last question? Give her. So we've had Separate Ways by Journey and Kate Bush is Running Up the Hill. What's the next song that's going to be big for Stranger
We Are
Things?
Devo.
Pyromania
DVO.
by Alan Parsons Project.
Hawk, give me a serious answer.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think. It's
got to be the 80s. Well,
Yeah.
ooh.
80s hit, something huge and anthemic in that.
Ordinary World.
Oh, actually,
Ordinary World would be good too.
No, that was 90s.
Was it?
No,
yeah.
no. Was
Duran Duran. Ordinary World.
No, Duran Duran were 80s, bud.
Yeah, I know, but that song "Ordinary World" didn't come out till the 90s.
Looking it up.
I'm gonna say 92.
Because
92, you're right. Holy shit.
Holy shit. Okay, never mind.
Because so this is weird because I used to listen to a fair amount of Duran
Never
Duran
mind.
because of Kate Bush, like listening to it again and again. And for some reason, I've been listening to "Holding Out for a Hero" a lot. It's really good for when I'm working out. But I'd never somehow listened to all of Rio by Duran Duran. And "The Chauffeur" might be my favorite Duran Duran song now. I don't think I'd ever heard it.
Okay, I'm literally looking up the top songs in 1985 to see what we got here.
Okay.
I mean,
the best I'm seeing is "Shout" by Tears for Fears.
Oh God, I hope not. That song's been so over. No, it's
We
gotta be
Built the
something more
City,
obscure.
Jefferson Starship.
we built this city. I mean, they haven't had any Never Gonna Give You Up.
Oh my God, "Cry" by Godfrey and Creme. Jesus fuck.
I don't even know that song.
Yeah, I don't. Just
Oh,
just
just
skip it.
wait. What if Mike lives and it opens up like Back to the Future with Huey Lewis in the News, The Power of Love?
I'll stop watching.
Because that's 1985.
I'll stop watching.
I mean,
yeah.
Do.
So
we got "Never Surrender" by Corey Hart.
Eurythmics, Must Be an Angel.
Take my breath away.
I
I mean, Top Gun's back.
We got
Take
Crazy for You by Madonna.
Oh
Yeah, David. Does
we
Madonna
got "Money for
license
Nothing"
that?
by Dire Straits.
Fuck, man, I love Dire Straits. That would be amazing.
Yeah, no, they're actually very underrated.
Touch Me by Samantha Fox.
Maybe something by REM.
really REM
85? No.
No. I'm looking for REM, Driver 8 for REM in 95 and 85. Sorry.
Well, it'd be 85 or 86, right? So we could do Beastie
Wait a
Boys
minute.
too.
Wait a minute.
Number one Billboard song. Number one Billboard song, "Careless Whisper" by Wham, 85.
And number 3, "Wake Me Up Before You Go."
Yeah.
Have they had
We're
any
looking at the same list.
Have they had any Depeche Mode in the series yet?
Not yet, no.
To be fair, most of Depeche Mode's more popular stuff came out 89, 90.
You know what
Depeche was late 80s, early 90s.
I like their
what did come out
stuff.
in 85? "Road to Nowhere" by Talking Heads.
Ooh.
Brent, I was actually given a lot of shit because I'm a big Depeche Mode fan, and
I'm a big Depeche Mode fan.
My coworker was like, "What are your favorite albums?" And I named Violator.
Violator, yeah.
Finding the Angel came out much later, but I can't remember. And I named a couple, and he's like, "Those were all '90s Depeche Mode." And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up!"
That was literally
Violator was
that stream that I had on
Violator's
Saturday
my
night
favorite.
with the huge crowd and that was one of the things people were yelling out, "Play Depeche Mode," and we played probably a good solid half hour of Depeche Mode songs.
They're one of my favorite. They're one of my absolute top 3.
They are in my top.
And
5
Enjoy the
bands that I've
Silence
seen
is
live.
Enjoy the Silence is one of my top 5 favorite songs of all time.
For sure.
And
That
one
sounds
of
right.
Violator
the-
as a whole is great.
One of the few 80s, 90s bands that I still like their later stuff. I like Delta Machine and I like Sounds of the Universe. And a lot of people probably don't give a shit about their later, but I still like it. Their sound hasn't changed, despite that it's
One of them left. Is it
But-
one?
Playing the Angel, I fucking love that album. Growing up Catholic with Depeche Mode, that album is just a weird blend of
What
John
about
the
some-
Revelator, fucking amazing.
What about
song.
some Erasure? They were in the 80s too.
Oh
weren't they?
yeah. I fucking love
and
Erasure.
Their Depeche Mode connection.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
we also 85 we have "Broken Wings" by Mr. Mister.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
What was
too.
that band that fucking Edgar Wright did a documentary on?
Sparks?
The Sparks.
I like
You
that we're
see,
assuming
they don't
the
have- they don't
final
ha-
season's
They
going
don't
to be
have
85
that
and not continuing in
recognition,
84.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
As
that documentary though?
I feel like Max would be listening to something like that though, like Sparks. Max seems
Yeah.
to be the one being like, I'm gonna listen to all the weird shit that.
I know. It's weird. The band was, it's almost like they're a band that is pretty much discussed only by other bands.
It's true. Bands and artists. Hey, what's your favorite Spark song? All right, I think that's a good way to end this podcast. I can't wait till July 1st. We're gonna fucking. It's gonna be fucking awesome. I think
also
our
Close to Me by The Cures came out in 1985.
Oh,
Ooh, yeah, that's
the head on the door.
That'd be
that
good.
100% would be one of the big ones they would pick.
When was Final?
What about
when
Just
was
Like
Europe? When was Final Countdown? I feel like that's gonna be the trailer song for season 5.
I don't know. I feel like Arrested Development has pretty much ruined that song for everybody.
It was 1986. That's when the next
season
season's gonna
5 theme song, Mr. Wendell.
What if they fuck us over and the last season's like 3 years later, so it's like 1988, 1989?
That'd be amazing.
That's honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
Is 87 when Return of the Jedi came out?
No, 83.
83.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
Yeah. You know what would be cool is if
87 was Romancing the Stone.
What if they did an It thing where they had two times? Oh, that would be cool with Vecna. Oh my god. Because you got to figure they're gonna copy someone, and they love Stephen King.
Yep.
Anyway, that's too much postulating about something that's never gonna happen. So, we're gonna be back in 2 weeks, probably talking about Obi-Wan. It'll be done by then.
Well, it's really going to be done in 2 weeks.
Oh,
2 more episodes?
Yeah,
Really?
episode 4 is on Wednesday, and then
4, 5, and then 6. Maybe we'll end on a Wednesday. We'll record on the Wednesday instead.
Okay.
As somebody who couldn't watch Boba Fett because it was terrible, and hasn't watched Mandalorian, where's Obi-Wan?
This is the best.
I should watch it.
This is the best.
I don't know if it's the best.
It's the best live
quite
action.
good.
I think it's the best live action out of all of them.
I'm liking the fact that it ties into the story of Star Wars that I know the most. So that's appealing to me. So maybe I will watch it by then.
People seem to not understand is that two things. Obi-Wan is not the guy he was at the end of the Clone Wars, and he's not the guy we meet at the beginning of A New Hope. That's the fucking point.
And he's not the guy that we meet in Rebels either.
Yeah.
Right?
It's been 10 we're basically in this 10-year gap between like the greatest general that's ever existed in the Clone Wars and the wise old wizard who needs to get Luke to be the chosen one over Anakin. And
this is him on the downslope of his life.
Yeah. And I'm sure the end of the series is going to be him going, okay, I need to make sure I don't lose this stuff. I need to.
That's when we see Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
Is at the end of the series. I feel like this is him like debating whether he needs to, if he can even train Luke, if he's capable of it, or if he's gonna fail like he did with Anakin. Like I think that's what
the
he's
other
at.
thing is people are like, why did Vader do this? And it's like Vader doesn't want to just kill Obi-Wan. He wants to fucking torture him.
Yeah. Oh man, like it's such a good connection between those two, the prequels and the original trilogy. Ewan McGregor's fucking awesome. Like
I think this is one of the few that like I really want to watch. Mandalorian, I was always kind of like, I just wanted to watch because it's Favreau. Boba Fett, I gave it a shot. I didn't like it at all.
Did you watch the Mandalorian episodes of Boba Fett though? Because they're phenomenal.
No, I just watched the first 2 episodes of Boba Fett, and I was like,
just watch the Mandalorian episodes.
You kind of have to watch the Mandalorian episodes because the new Mandalorian show is
based on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, I haven't really gotten hooked on Mandalorian yet. Like, honestly, Star Wars lost me a long time ago. I haven't even finished the new trilogy yet.
You don't need to.
I haven't even watched. What's the third one? Rise of the Skywalker, Fall of Skywalker, Death of Skywalker, Fucking Skywalker. I haven't watched that one yet. Like,
somehow Palpatine.
Eric's trying to play the soundboard. We'll just talk over it.
Wait, what?
No, I don't think we need to hear anything. I don't know. No, Eric, I don't hear anything. I don't know.
Again, it's like poetry. So if they rhyme,
there's no reason to listen to George Lucas. He's not even associated with Star Wars anymore. I don't know why you would think that.
This is the closest that has felt like the movies. Like the George Lucas movies. I'm not even talking.
It's not perfect.
No, it's not perfect.
The last Star Wars property that actually impressed me, that I actually walked out going, that was fucking amazing, was Rogue One.
Yeah.
That's the only one that I've watched in the past 10 years where I was literally like, this is fucking incredible.
So,
everything else has been so lackluster and disappointing.
That's so weird because The Mandalorian for me has been like at the end of 2019. Yeah, after I remember I came home after seeing fucking, Rise of Skywalker. And I was like, what did I just see in that? The only thing that solved the burn of that was watching the finale of The Mandalorian and realizing this is an original Star Wars hero who has rightly entered into the canon. And then at the end of 2020, and that after all the shit year and that we'd had with the pandemic and everything and that, the end of season 2 was my only highlight. My only highlight of that year.
What are you talking about?
I really do feel like I would like The Mandalorian if I sat down and committed to it. But the problem is every time I watch it, I'm not in the mood for a story like that at the time. And I can't get past the first 2 episodes. So it's one of those, like, I have to be in the mindset of, like, I'm into this right now and sit down and actually binge it. I just haven't been.
Have you watched the animated series? Any of them?
No.
So no. I wonder if that's a good, like, way to get you into it, because they're short and they're also quite good.
But the first couple seasons of Clone Wars really fucking
you know what's good about that is that Star Wars has a list of these are the ones you should watch, and those are all good episodes, and I think there's only 30 of them.
You know what I would suggest is go watch the Getty Tartarovsky Clone Wars.
Yeah. Although they're not fucking awesome. Legends.
They're not canon for some, even though they were under George Lucas's purview, but and they directly lead into the Clone Wars movie and stuff.
I think he took it out of canon because he started doing Clone Wars and he wanted to change a couple things. So good. I know.
You get to, like, Mace Windu gets to be a fucking you see him crush General Grievous's ribcage, and that's why he coughs later. And it's
on Disney Plus.
You see the Jedi get to be fucking Jedi in that, cutting people in half. And, so they're short too. They're like 8-minute episodes.
Some of them are even shorter than that.
I think the whole thing is like 90 minutes, maybe.
I don't even think it's that long, man. I think it's shorter.
Shorter. It's like Samurai Jack, but with lightsabers.
Yeah, but we'll talk about Star Wars in 2 weeks. I think maybe we'll skip the Monday. We'll go to the Wednesday because it'll be the finale of Obi-Wan, and then we'll just record the episode right after or that night. Yeah, sounds good. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Thanks for coming and talking about Stranger Things, and thank you out there for listening to us. We shall see you guys soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Well, that's it for us this week on Geeks with Kids. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at podcast@geekswithkids.ca. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekswithkids. Follow us on Twitter at geekswithkidscn. Check out our pics on Instagram at geekswithkids. And you can find all of this good stuff on our website at www.geekswithkids.ca. So if you like what you hear, why don't you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.